Alright boys, it's chapter 2 time of our story of the man with the funny mustache. My Little Ponies, the Hitler Stories, Hitler in Pearl Harbor, chapter 2. Let's go. Shining Armor sat with the Emperor of Japan, Naruhito, as they discussed a new plan. Satellite footage revealed Hitler was hiding out in Pearl Harbor. America refused to believe it because they were too busy playing baseball and eating Cracker Jacks and throwing shrimps on the barbie and whatnot. So the ponies had to turn to Japan, which was America's closest ally, but secretly. Naruhito-sama senpai, Shining Armor said with the utmost respect for Japanese culture. We believe we must bomb Pearl Harbor to defeat Hitler. Naruhito bowed deeply to the pony, for he felt much honor to him. We are secretly allies with America, and we hope to sell them many mangas and dakimakuras 80 years from now. But if it means defeating Hitler-san, we must break our alliance temporarily. The Americans are quick to anger, like the sacred gods of the forests and Inuyasha, but it will be worth it in the end. Shining Armor sipped his tea, and it was the greatest tea he ever had, made from real Japanese tea set, with cool hand-painted designs on the cup and saucer, and on the teapot too. He shed a single tear for all the lives that would be lost in defeating Hitler, but he knew they wouldn't be lost in vain. Armed with an authentic Japanese katana, forged by true masters of their time, folded over 10,000 times in the heat of Mount Fuji itself, tested on real POWs by cutting them in half, sharpened to a deadly edge over the course of a century by an ancient ninja clan made from the purest and hardest steels, mined from the Earth's core itself, its sheath fashioned from the Emperor's own cypress trees that he personally planted as a child, handle made from the same wood and wrapped in the cloth of the kings it has slain, anointed with their blood, blessed by the gods themselves, and signed by the CEO of Nintendo. Shining Armor climbed into the cockpit of the B-17 bomber with a Japanese pilot at the wheel. "One ticket to Pearl Harbor, please," Shining Armor joked, and the pilot didn't get it because he didn't speak pony. "Nani?" the pilot said. "Round trip preferably," Shining Armor quipped like a quick-witted whippersnapper. And then he went silent as a grave, knowing the pilot was about to lose his life in the glorious quest of Assassination Hitler Project. He prayed to the gods above that the sacrifice would not be in vain. And they were off. The plane did a vertical takeoff and blasted into second gear as they broke sound and went hypersonic. Kaboom! The ground below was fuzzy from their speed, and not because of the fur growing on the ground, and Shining Armor vomited into a bag because he got air sickness. As soon as they crossed the international date line into US territory, because Hawaii wasn't a state yet, just a territory, they fired all their guns at the beach and bullets ripped America's beautiful shores to pieces. President Hoover or Kennedy or whoever was at the time shed a tear and saluted to the many lives about to be lost in vain, as the B-17 bomber ripped open countryside with its twin Vulcan 30mm cannons, until they reached Pearl Harbor itself. "Alright, Pilot-sama, it's time to hit the lure. Catch you on the flip side," Shining Armor said as he jumped out of the plane and used his parachute. The plane did a dive bomb bonsai attack and exploded itself against the ship, and many Americans were lost. Shining Armor pulled out his binoculars and looked around for Hitler, while he was still 30,000 feet in the air and had the perfect advantage point. And then he saw him. He was on the beach playing chess with his kids, and what looked like a 5-minute time control with no increment, and he was absolutely destroying the little turds who kept taking too long to make a move, and then panicked when the time got low and blundered pieces away. "Damn it," Shining Armor swore. "Nobody didn't say nothing about no kids," he lamented. He put away his TAC-70 SMG with a silencer and scope and a custom foregrip, but no carvings or anything dumb like that. It seems all the Japanese lives lost would be wasted after all, for he could not kill a man in front of his own children, not even Hitler. But then an idea came to him's brain. "But then again, if the kids are dead," he nodded with the Terminator. All he had to do was arrange a little accident, and he didn't cause directly, to make the kids not be alive to see their own father die before their very eyes. Shin Armor didn't know much about Pearl Harbor or how he would slip the chlorine into their breakfast, but he had to do it for America and for all the ponies. Finally, he landed, and the alarm bells rang-a-lang ding-dang-dong, and the Americans were shooting their guns at the sky, even the civilians because they all owned guns. Luckily, that was just a distraction he needed. He shuffled out of his parachute backpack harness thing and went to a nearby hotel. The employees were all outside shooting at the Japanese tourists in their airplanes, so he easily snuck inside and found a cleaning closet and a big bottle full of chlorine. He took a sip to make sure that it would be lethal, and when he was satisfied, he brought it back to the beach. Hitler was there facing away, the perfect opportunity. He army crawled up to the snack cooler and dumped the bleach all over the sandwiches. That was sure to deal with the kids. "Daddy, may I have a sandwich, mein Führer?" one child asked. "Yeah," Hitler replied. "Oh no, gotta think fast." So Shining Armor thunk fast and vibrated himself at a frequency of sand so that he'd sunk into the sand and he was under the sand just as the Hitler kid walked over him and took a Windex covered sandwich from the cooler. "Now's my chance," China Armor said. "Who said that?" asked Hitler, spinning around 360 no-scope in disbelief. "It was me, Shining Armor said." As he popped out of the sand with his Bowie knife and stabbed Hitler while his kid screamed. "Haha! You think a silly little knife can hurt me?" Hitler taunted. "You must do," Shining Armor said, and stabbed him again right through his heart. Unfortunately, Shining Armor forgot Hitler's heart was on his left side instead of his right, so I accidentally missed all his vital info. Hitler grabbed the handle and pulled it out, shaking his head and wagging a little finger. "999, naughty bunny, this will be your last hurrah!" Suddenly, Hitler charged with the knife and Shining Armor used his jiu-jitsu training to do a backflip out of the way mere minutes before the knife touched him. "It seems we're evenly matched." "Hitler dear, we must get back to our room for the free lunch," Eva Braun said. "You're lucky for now, pony," Hitler said, dropping the knife. "I will assassinate you one day, Hitler," Shining Armor cried, as in yelled, but he was also crying, and then Hitler was gone. "I failed yet again," Shining Armor said, as he walked back to Japan. He shed many tears for the lives lost in vain that gruesome day. And that was chapter 2, and thankfully that's all the chapters there are, so hope you enjoyed My Little Ponies, the Hitler stories. Oh wait, no, never mind, it's actually incomplete. The last update was on the 28th of February 2020. There's still more to come.